Vitaly just survived 290 days in a Philippines jail, and the truth coming out now is absolutely insane. What started as another reckless content stunt turned into prison, corruption allegations, and a scandal big enough to trigger a government crackdown. This is the shocking new chapter in Vitaly's downfall.
One of the most infamous prank YouTubers of all time, and this is what he looks like after spending 10 months in a Philippines jail. Known for his videos like Gold Digger Prank,
he's so skinny now? What?
Over the past few years, Vitaly has switched to live streaming his endeavors of terrorizing the general public in new and creative ways. In 2025, this behavior finally caught up to him when he took it a step too far in the Philippines. Now that he's finally free, Vitaly has spoken about the quote inhumane conditions that he says he experienced, as well as the corruption.
No, just corruption, bro. You pay the guard, you're good to go, and yeah. How'd you get a
I didn't know that he was out. I thought he was still in there.
phone? How did I get a phone? I just got a bro. You can do anything. Money talks in Philippines, but
okay. Little did he know this clip would trigger an internal crackdown at the Philippine Bureau of Immigration, leading to multiple officers being relieved or dismissed, with the president ordering a formal investigation into corruption allegations. Now, authorities are potentially looking at extraditing Vitaly back to the Philippines. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we're going to be covering the continued downward spiral of Vitaly, the events that led to his situation now, and what he potentially has in store for himself in the future. Last time I covered Vitaly, his situation was looking pretty bleak. For those of you that don't know who he is, early on, Vitaly built a name off shock content. His pranks blew up fast, and
I honestly never really liked Vitaly. I always thought that his pranks were stupid.
got him tens of millions of views, but they were always built around bothering people and chasing reactions. That formula worked for years and made him famous, but it also set the foundation for everything that came later. After his 2020 arrest for attacking a woman while under the influence, his career took a massive hit. He disappeared for a while, came back with an apology, and claimed he had changed. But once he started streaming, it became clear not much was actually different.
If I lose right now, oh boy, okay? Pick a mind, click anywhere on the screen. You better fucking click it right. Good boy.
When Vitaly transitioned into IRL
That was weird.
streaming, he went right back to what he knew, walking up to strangers, saying wild and uncomfortable things, and trying to force reactions out of people. The problem was what used to go viral didn't hit the same anymore, and people weren't as interested. So he escalated. Around 2024, he rebranded himself into predator catching content. He brought on famous guests and teamed up with other popular streamers, where he pulled off sting operations where they would confront alleged predators on camera. These streams pulled in huge numbers again. People loved seeing bad actors get exposed, and Vitaly leaned all the way into it.
Drink. Like a good doggy. Oh, man. Yo, what is come home. You dumbass.
Ese famoso.
But the way he did it raised a lot of questions. Most of the people they caught weren't actually getting arrested or charged, and the whole thing felt more like public humiliation than real justice.
El pelo, bueno. He said he's down for the good hair.
Move.
Go.
Is he about to tase him? Oh, fuck.
I think no. All right, come here.
Whoa, what is this?
Look good in your hair, baby.
Wait, was there two people who were trying to get with a kid or something? What the fuck?
It's okay.
Now they're shaving his head.
No, it's okay. Let's give him a hot chip.
Is that a Mexican?
He wants to go home. I give him a
Didn't even sound like he spoke English.
hot chip.
Bueno, come esta mierda.
He's gonna eat it. Look, it's a hot chip.
Es un hot
Look
chip.
at this.
Dude, there's no way that he tased that guy so hard that he fucking passed out. I've been tased pretty hard and I've never passed out. That guy must be a fucking pussy or something.
They're listening today.
That's some hot shit. Come with them.
Motherfucker!
It made the whole operation feel less about helping anyone and more about keeping viewers hooked, as the streams themselves often were filled up with gambling advertising between the catches. Even with the success, the same pattern was there, doing whatever it took, no matter how obnoxious it was, to get views. That same attitude carried over when he transitioned into travel streaming in the Philippines. At first, it looked like he might try something different, showing off locations or even helping people out. But that didn't last long, as he almost immediately went straight back to harassing strangers in public, saying offensive things, threatening people, stealing items, and trying to provoke reactions for clips. If someone dared to ignore him, he would just push even harder.
Hulihin mo, kuya. Hulihin mo. Cop doesn't want to do anything. He's just
Why does he not react?
Nice.
Okay, you try to steal a cop's motorcycle, like, obviously you're gonna get arrested. What?
He's not chasing me.
I know.
I want you to chase me.
To chase.
Other creators even tried to step in and tell him that he was taking things too far, but he brushed it off. In his mind, attention meant he was winning, even if it was negative. That mindset finally caught up to him. After multiple incidents during his streams, authorities arrested him. Although he seemed to be relaxed and even smiling as they showed videos of his harassment in public, the situation was much more dire than he ever realized. For the next 10 months, there was complete silence from Vitaly's side. No one knew what was
It's probably because he was used to being in American prisons. Or like jails, you know?
happening. At first, Vitaly thought this would be a quick situation. He expected to be deported back to Russia or the United States and maybe pay a fine, but it quickly became clear that this was much more serious than that. The Filipino government wanted to make an example out of him, and they weren't going to let it go easily. It's similar to what happened with streamer Johnny Somali. He pulled a similar stunt in South Korea, and is now not only detained, but also facing serious prison time. In his case too, the government is trying to send a message and discourage anyone else from doing the same thing. In this new era of streaming, where people will do almost anything for views, governments around the world have started paying attention. They're using whatever authority they have to prevent creators from coming into their country and harassing locals just for content. As authorities put it in a statement, this is not just a matter of administrative procedure. It's about protecting the integrity of our immigration laws. Foreign nationals who abuse our hospitality and violate our laws must face the consequences. The Bureau is resolute. We will not allow our deportation process to be undermined by publicity tactics or legal maneuvering. No special treatment will be given. Then, at a press conference on June 1st, Interior Secretary John Mueller said that both Russia, Vitaly's home country, and the United States, where he holds a green card, refused to accept him. At that point, it was clear that he was in this for the long haul. Keep in mind, there still wasn't any clear timeline for when he'd be released. Vitaly hadn't even been sentenced. He was basically just sitting in jail waiting to be processed, stuck in this kind of limbo. It seemed like the government was using that as a way to punish him without going through a full conviction. Then, after about 10 months, the Filipino government finally released a court video announcing that Vitaly would be deported back to Russia and that he had served his time. In the video, they said, "We have no ill feelings towards Vitaly. He has served his time, he has shown remorse, and he is now a free man when he returns to Russia." 10 months in custody had clearly taken a toll. He had grown a beard and looked much more serious. It was a complete shift from his first court appearance, where he was smiling and almost laughing. A lot of the reaction online was pretty harsh. Once clips of what he had done started circulating, many people felt like he had got exactly what he deserved, and saw it as justice. Bro aged like 13 years in there. Bro's prison experience. This is what he was doing before he got arrested, by the way. Finally, on January 18th,
Didn't even show what he was doing.
Vitaly was deported back to Russia, and he wasted no time posting about his experience on social media. After 290 days in a Philippines jail with rats, cockroaches, and 35 degrees Celsius heat, I am finally free. They really tried to break me, but it built me. Out of those 290 days, I spent 91 in complete isolation. They wanted me gone, but I'm still here. All glory to God.
Just landed in Russia. It's minus 34 Celsius, and your boy is headed to the front lines. I'm free, baby!
Along with that, he posted videos that showed what looked like extremely harsh conditions. The cells were tiny, trash was everywhere, and people were packed into spaces that didn't look fit for anyone. It honestly looked miserable. Even something like The Shawshank Redemption seemed more comfortable by comparison. Over the next few days, he kept sharing more footage from inside. You could see the cages they were kept in, the way they had to shower using a small ladle of water, and a lot of other rough details about daily life in there.
These are my mates here, and I can't talk too long, but here you go. This is our breakfast. Yes. Why is it green? Don't ask me.
What the fuck is that? Is it just like bread? What?
One rice and one.
How did they get a camera in there? I'm honestly confused with how they got a camera in there.
One fish. I don't even want to know what that is. And our dinner. Wow. So much food. Let me show you why. If you guys are wondering why these bottles are here, that's rat protection. This place is infested with rats, cockroaches, hundreds of mosquitoes during the night here. It's absolutely disgusting. We've been trying to reach out to human rights people. This is so inhumane, but no one's responding. But this message is not about me. This is a message about all the people that are suffering here. And I will tell you in 1 second. Come check out the bed. This is how we shower.
More than anything though, it was clear that he was already getting back into his usual routine. After spending most of the year in those conditions, his mindset didn't seem shaken. He jumped right back into making content, linking up with streamers like Aiden Ross, and others in that same circle on Kick. Just a day after posting those prison clips, he was already out appearing at events with other creators, trying to get back into the spotlight. Since he hadn't been able to post for almost a year, he had a lot of ground to make up. One of the first clips to go viral after his return was from the boxing event with Adam22. During the event, Vitaly grabbed a microphone and, trying to get a reaction, asked Adam if he could sleep with his wife, saying that he hadn't been with anyone during his time in prison. Surprisingly, Adam shut it down. Likely because he was on stage in front of a big crowd. In reality, if Vitaly had offered a specific dollar amount, Adam definitely would have said yes under the right circumstances.
I like how he just called out Adam22 for that. That was funny. He's like, yeah, Adam's a cuck.
Yo! What?
Question for Adam. Adam, as you know, I spent 10 months, 290 days in prison. Can you do me a favor? Can I fuck Lena tonight?
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna be honest, I think you gotta work your way up.
Honestly?
You didn't have enough practice on those Filipino gang members in there?
Nah, they were Asian. I couldn't feel anything.
Not long after that, Aiden Ross brought Vitaly onto a stream to talk about everything he went through. At first, it was what you'd expect. He talked about the poor conditions, the food, the overcrowded cells, all of it. But then, he mentioned something more interesting. He said that he had bribed the guards multiple times. The way he described it, that was just how things worked in that prison. If you wanted to get by without constant problems, you had to pay the guards to look the other way. In his case, he said he paid them so he could use his phone and record videos.
Okay. I was wondering how the fuck he had a phone in there.
Basically preparing content for when he got out. And if that was happening, it's not hard to imagine others were doing it for more serious things too. He also said that he was going to make a documentary about the inhumane way they treated people in that prison.
I had a phone the whole time. I had a phone the whole time in jail. I vlogged the whole experience, and I'm gonna expose the corruption and everything.
No,
No, just corruption. But you pay the guard, you're good to go, and yeah.
How'd you get a phone?
How did I get a phone? I just got a bro. You can't do anything. Money talks in Philippines, but
Okay. Oh, wait, an iPhone or?
On its own, that might not sound that shocking, especially given how bad the conditions looked. Most people would probably assume something like that was going on anyway. The difference here was the audience. This wasn't a private conversation, it was a live stream in front of tens of thousands of viewers, all of whom could clip and share it instantly. And that's exactly what happened. Before long, clips of Vitaly talking about bribing guards were all over the internet, and it started catching the attention of people who took that kind of thing very seriously. There's this funny thing about putting everything on the internet. Sometimes the stuff you think won't matter ends up making a huge impact. In this case, that stream interview with Vitaly basically sent the Filipino government into panic mode. They launched a full investigation into the prison he had been held in, and as it turns out, less than 24 hours after he posted his footage and talked about the bribing, things started happening fast. Several staff members resigned, others were fired, and some were even jailed after the investigation began. What's interesting is that the government's official stance was still that Vitaly was wrong and exaggerating. They even called his comments, quote, rage bait, which is a wild thing to hear from the Bureau of Immigration. But this wasn't just low-level staff getting in trouble. The top warden of the entire prison resigned, along with multiple lower-ranking wardens. This was something much bigger going on, a full network of corruption and even drug smuggling, all accidentally exposed by a prank YouTuber. It got so serious that even the president of the Philippines, Bongbong Marcos, made a statement that they are going to look into it. Not some minor official, but the actual president addressing a situation involving a YouTuber. Right now, there still aren't a lot of details about how deep this goes, but arrests have already been made, and the situation is ongoing as I'm writing this video. Now that it's been a few weeks since his release, Vitaly has pretty much settled back into his usual routine. After going on a run of interviews talking about the prison and saying he wants to make a documentary about it, he's back to doing normal content. That includes things like his pedo hunting videos, along with collaborations with some other online influencers like Clavicula. He even squashed his beef with Neon, and the two of them have already worked together again. But just because he accidentally exposed a prison for how it was treating its inmates, that doesn't mean he's had some kind of full character redemption arc, a la Jaime Lannister. He's still the same Vitaly. He's still chasing the most attention-grabbing clips he can to pull in as many viewers as possible. At one point, he even got Clavicula banned from Kick, after having a girl do sexual stuff off camera during a marathon stream.
Alright, here we go. We're going on there now.
Yo, Brock, don't do it yet.
His big hard boner.
Oh, it's pretty hard. Should actually? Okay.
Keep it on the desk.
Serious?
What the fuck?
No faking it. I'm gonna take out my dick.
Take it out.
You gotta grab it. I'm taking it out.
It's a pre-workout. What do you mean it's on both? How is it on both?
Oh.
I do think it's safe to say he's probably going to stay away from that bothering random people in public type of content, at least when he's in another country. In the US, it's still fair game for him, but interestingly, he hasn't really gone back to that. Instead, he's leaned into doing more raunchy content that doesn't involve ruining some random person's day, aside from the groomers he goes after. Stepping back for a second, it's honestly kind of wild that this random prank YouTuber, known for super clickbait stuff like kissing pranks, ended up exposing a huge prison conspiracy that feels straight out of Shawshank Redemption. Sometimes the right person ends up in the wrong place, and it actually makes a difference, even if they didn't mean for it to happen. At the end of the day, Vitaly should be counting his blessings that he's even back in America and able to stream again. Like I mentioned earlier, other streamers who do similar content, like Johnny Somali, haven't been nearly as lucky. Some of them could be facing years in prison along with hard labor. If Vitaly can keep his nose clean and avoid messing with random people in public, he could be setting himself up for a more positive future. Alternatively, he could show that he didn't learn anything from those 10 months and go right back to his old ways. Those really feel like the two paths in front.
Well, that was good. I didn't know that he was out. It's kind of crazy that he exposed that prison. I mean, but who didn't know that a Filipino prison was going to be corrupt? Like, that's pretty obvious. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't have to think about it that hard to realize that it's going to be corrupt. But all right. Thank you for watching the Internet Chaos Report. Remember to like and subscribe because we're posting 2 videos every single day. Peace.